You're listening to the Esoterix Podcast.
Hey, everyone, this is Jo, and I am solo for this bonus episode of the Esoterix Podcast. Welcome back. It's been a while. We haven't had anything since before retreat. And yeah, I'm solo this week. Our beautiful friend, Fioraliz, or Fee, as I call her, she is jet setting around New York City with her family on a well-deserved vacation. If you follow her Franco Abode account on Insta, you know she recently bought a new house and had weeks of renovations to power through. So this is a nice way to celebrate and enjoy everything she and her hubs accomplished. Congrats, my friend. It feels weird and I miss you, but we'll be back at it soon. All right. So announcements. I have actually several, and they're kind of cool. I'm going to be going live, or I'm going to be giving live in-person readings here in Portland at Psychic Sister. I know I've mentioned that before. That awesome little metaphysical shop is located on Alberta in the Alberta Arts District. I'm going to be there on various Saturdays and Sundays going forward. It's super simple to book with me. Just go to psychicsister.com and click the readers tab, and then scroll around, find my picture, and then click book now. Choose a date, and there you go. Appointments are 30 minutes for $75. And if you want a longer reading or one that's more specialized, you can book with me from my website, thewokakashik.com. But at Psychic Sister, there are 30-minute Akashic readings for $75. All right, now listen, speaking of my website, I am so excited because I'm almost ready to launch my new website, jofigueras.com. I have a new look, a new logo, and the best part is that every single thing can be done from this website. You can book a reading with me, you can download a digital class or meditation, you can listen to the podcast, you can actually purchase jewelry and other fun things that I plan to add to my quote unquote store from this website. No more Instagram claiming sold, no more Facebook posts saying, hey, I'm doing a jewelry drop, Venmo me or PayPal me. None of that shit. It's all done right from my website. I'm so excited. It's truly a one-stop shop website with all the bells and whistles. So please browse it once it goes live, which I will announce on the socials for sure. So if you follow me, you will find out when that launches. Another fun bit of news, I'm going to be coordinating the reader program at Psychic Sister. So if you are an intuitive local to Portland and are interested in an opportunity to give readings, send your woo-woo resume with all your experience and details to info@psychicsister.com with the subject psychic reader. And that resume will get reviewed, and you'll get interviewed, which consists of a lot of different things, but one of them is giving a reading. And yeah, man, you might be able to tarot, oracle, medium, whatever, at Psychic Sister. It's a really good opportunity and a super cool place to read. So be sure to follow all the ways to connect with me on Insta. You can find me at Jo Figueras Akashic Reader, Jo Figueras Studio for my jewelry. Follow Psychic Sister on Instagram, and definitely follow the Esoterix Podcast if you don't. Fioraliz and I also have a Facebook community called the Esoterix Community. So if you are on Facebook, be sure to join us there. It's been a little quiet since April with all the retreat prep that we were doing, but as July and August roll in and all this new stuff rolls out, engagement will pick right back up, and we're going to do all sorts of fun giveaways. And of course, we'll start doing the podcast again weekly, and it's just good stuff's coming. Okay, so this is where Fiora would ask, what are we talking about this week, Joe? Or I would ask her if she were the one, teaching us all the things about all the cool things. Well, this week we're going to talk about connecting with your natural intuitive abilities based on your astrology sign. I thought that would be a fun topic. Each of the 12 astrological signs offers a unique way in which you can access your intuition and your intuitive abilities can come through. Let's talk about the three modalities of astrology. So there are cardinal signs: Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. They have a more of a spontaneous intuition, and their first impression is typically spot on. As a Capricorn, I can confirm that or validate that. Cardinal signs, claircognizance is always at work. They often just know things. Now, fixed signs, which are Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo, they have an intuition that is more on point and locked in. Okay. It's reliable, and they typically trust their intuition and don't really waver. I'm thinking specifically of my Taurus pals. Locked in on it. I'm telling you what, they call it. These signs have a strong claircognizant ability. That's clear knowing. Mutable signs, Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, and Sagittarius, they have a more difficult time trusting their intuition due to their emotions. The mutable signs are strongly clairsentient, so they sense things, but it can be challenging for them to feel confident in their clarity because they have such an emotional nature. They're going to second guess themselves. They're going to, say, oh, but it's, I'm making it up, or that sort of thing. It's typically an ability that is used in conjunction with one or more of the other clairs. Rarely do people is their strongest intuitive ability clairvoyance. It's rare, but it does happen. And in that case, one of their other clair abilities sort of helps pick up the slack. So clairvoyance is sort of a slack picker-upper. It just helps paint a more thorough or detailed picture for many intuitive psychics and mediums. All right, so let's talk about the elements, okay? So the fire signs, they're fast. The fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and they are fast to act on intuitive impulses. Fire signs are more of a masculine energy, and they feel their intuition, but then they take action on it. So they're not really feet draggers or procrastinators. Fire signs have a really highly developed clairsentience that they feel in their gut as a physical sensation, like they literally feel it. But okay, this can also cause fire signs to doubt or dismiss their intuition. So if you're a fire sign, to help strengthen your clairsentience, do things that help you become comfortable with taking risks and speaking your truth. That's sensing. Get comfortable with listening to your gut. Deepen your meditation practice by incorporating maybe a lit candle as a fire sign, or going inward or meditating near a fire. Now, the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, they prefer to proceed with caution. Earth signs need tangible proof. I always need proof. I want the science. I want the proof. I want all of that. We receive our intuition. So if you're an earth sign, work on surrendering and letting it come to you. Whenever I get a hit, I receive it. I feel it coming in. It's like my body just sort of opens to it. This is because earth signs embody a feminine receptive energy. And so sometimes it can feel difficult to receive. It's actually really natural once you let your true nature sort of take the lead. So that's a really good tip for developing your intuitive abilities as an earth sign. Now, listen, because earth signs like validation, it's really helpful to incorporate tarot and oracle in your practice, and crystals as well, using crystals to help you connect and ground into that earth energy. My biggest number one tip as an intuitive development teacher is to use tarot and oracle, because you're going to be able to validate what comes through for you after, right? So if your gut comes through and you think, oh, I'm supposed to do this thing, or this is the direction I'm supposed to go in, or it's go time, your gut says that, pull a tarot card or an oracle card as validation. Because as I like to say, you just can't make that up. All right, the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, they have a tendency to reflect with their intuition to make sure their insights are logical and clear. Air signs are a masculine energy, and they like to take action as well. Intuition comes to these signs as like a thought or a knowing in the form of claircognizance. You just know. All of a sudden, you don't know why, you just do. But it also comes as clairaudience. So that's where that thought comes to you, and then that knowing is the claircognizance. To help strengthen your intuitive practice, if you're an air sign, I recommend incorporating a 4-3-6 breath work practice to call the element of air into your physical body. And then also take time to journal and do automatic writing. So 4-3-6 breath work is when you take a deep breath in to the count of 4. You hold it to the count of 3, and then you exhale to the count of 6. So that's just a very simple practice that can help you incorporate that air element into your physical body. All right. And then the last element, the water signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, they have a natural ability to tap into intuition, but they're not always fast to act on it, because they want to sort of process what it means before they put it into action. They like to know, they like to get to the core of things. They like to expand and explore. Water signs are extremely clairsentient. They sense. They experience their intuition through their emotions, their inspirations, and their feelings. And that I am looking at you, Cancer. I am looking at you up, down, and sideways. And that's not a bad thing. Cancers are Capricorns, I guess, sort of polar opposite. I'm sure there's another astro word for that. And so there is the relationships or the connections can be challenging, but they can also be amazing and very deep and wonderful. So hi, Cancer. Okay. Water signs are extremely clairsentient, and they receive their intuition naturally. So they may struggle with picking up too much around them, which can really throw a water sign off and lead to a lack of self-trust. So to strengthen your connection, and definitely, or more importantly, your self-trust, meditate with a water element, like maybe a fountain in the background, or listen to music, like a YouTube video that has a water element in it. All right, so let's go through the individual signs and find out how to best connect with your natural intuitive abilities. All right, so Aries, they put their intuition to work while everyone else is still thinking about taking that first step. So they're like, something comes to them and they act on it, or they deliver the message. Their intuition comes through like sort of like a bolt of lightning, like like a gasp. Often impulsive Aries, they're not really credited for their natural intuition, which tells them to quickly change course. So, a lot of times we look at these traits within others or within ourselves, actually, and we think, I wish that I was less like this and more like this. But I would challenge you to look at these the traits that you sort of bemoan, and say, okay, how can I look at these in a different light? How can this actually be a benefit to my personality, my intuition, in all areas of life? All right, that was my little segue back to Aries. They experience a very high level of claircognizance, that's clear knowing, and they can come through as just, I just knew type of feeling or sudden epiphany. Confidence and the ability to trust yourself and your higher self is what helps lead an Aries down the right path. And that's key when it comes to developing your intuitive abilities. To strengthen your claircognizance and deepen your self-trust, ask for guidance from your higher self and your guides, and then look at the resulting signs. Look at the things that come through. Slow down, deepen your awareness, your mindfulness before acting on a psychic hit. Open up to the signs, and you'll find that it actually leads you to an even better outcome than that sudden epiphany, impulsivity, which is actually a good thing, right? But you can also slow it down and make it an even better thing. Taurus, my earthly pal. Taurus intuition is strong and on point. My friend Laura, Laura Intuitive, let me just put that out there. Follow her on the Instas. And I will actually tag her in the show notes. She is a Taurus and she is spot on. Taurus truly embrace their abilities when they provide practical results and stability. Their psychic abilities build slowly over time, but they build with intensity, which helps them become more and more comfortable while they let go of any resistance. Taurus is a slow melt. We all know that about them, but when they step into their power, they're mighty as fuck. So yeah, they feel validation in their body. Taurus, you're going to feel tingles, chills, pulse, or sensations. Psychometry, that's the ability to pick up psychic information through items by holding them. Mediums often use this gift by holding things that once belonged to someone who've passed on, which sort of allows them to easier connect to their energy. So to strengthen your psychometry abilities, Taurus, get comfortable with stepping outside of your comfort zone. That's the first thing. Look for and understand any sort of underlying emotional triggers or fears that are connected to your message. I guess to point a different picture, hold yourself. That sounds really weird. Okay, so, but you know what I mean. There's a reason though. Fears can derail a Taurus. So to strengthen your psychometry abilities and of course, deepen that self-trust, get comfortable with stepping outside of your comfort zone and look for and understand any underlying emotional triggers or fears connected to your message. So basically overcome those fears. That's what's going to help you strengthen your abilities. And then simply meditate while holding items from loved ones that have crossed over to strengthen your skills of receiving information. Gemini, your intuition comes through impulses, thoughts, or urges. Gemini is fast thinking and mentally excited when they use their intuition. They move quickly with mental objectivity and are eager for that new information to come in. They love when that comes in. Gemini are great speakers, but they're also really, really good listeners, which makes them particularly skilled at clairaudience, the ability to hear with your inner ear. This typically manifests as the ability to receive messages or channels from the other side. Channels are mediums and mediums are channels. So that means you can get messages from spirit guides, angels, ascended masters, whatever, people that have crossed over on the other side if you are clairaudient. But here's the deal. Clairaudience can feel a little bit overwhelming at first. There's a lot of ringing in the ears and downloads. Those are often your first clue that you're clairaudient, especially if a message is trying to come through. So in that moment, when you hear those downloads, just stop, thank spirit, and just open to the energy coming in. I can tell you, I've gotten thousands of downloads. I don't know about thousands, but maybe hundreds. And I never once understood them. I don't know what the hell they're sending me. I have no clue. I just sort of, when they come in, I just open to receiving them. I just open to receive them and thank my spirit guides in the universe for the information. All right. So when that happens in that moment, just center yourself and ask what the message is and then write it down if you can. All right. Now, Gemini, to connect to your clairaudient abilities, focus your busy mind with automatic writing or journaling. Okay. That's going to help you. And then you can also keep your hands busy by doing creative doodling when you receive the messages. Teresa Caputo and Tyler Henry are both doodlers. And when they show us what they were actually writing, it's just a bunch of scribbles. It's just their way of focusing the energy, and it helps that information come through more clearly. So make sure you look deeper into your messages and then tap into that emotional energy for mental balance when you're focusing your busy mind. Cancers are extreme empaths, uber empaths with an intuition that is on point. But like I said, they can doubt themselves and very easily pick up and absorb the energy of others. So they experience a lot of emotional extremes. And when they aren't sure what emotions are theirs, then that can cause them to doubt their intuition. It can cause any of us to doubt our intuition when we don't know if that energy is ours. Empaths come in all of the 12 signs, but cancers are uber empaths. Water signs are very psychic, and they have a natural ability to pick up on the energy that surrounds them. So if you feel that your mood changes suddenly throughout the day, be sure to check in with yourself. If your higher self tells you that the emotions that you're feeling don't belong to you, simply claim your sovereignty and strengthen your energetic boundaries using your mind's eye. Just visualize yourself not surrounded by a bubble. Visualize your etheric field, your aura, whatever you want to call it, expanding outward to enlarge or strengthen those boundaries around you, those energetic boundaries. Fortify. 6 feet, bitch. That's right. Just because hopefully COVID is on the down slide. Hopefully, right? All of a sudden, all these people are getting COVID. Like, I know like 6 people, and I'm like, what? It just needs to go away. Anyway, that was another little tangent. Expand your energy out 6 feet out around you. Like, we're back in like March of 2020. All right. To connect to your empathic abilities and intuition, Cancer, while also setting strong boundaries, focus on regulating your emotions and centering your energy using breathing exercises and visualization. That's a really good practice to start maybe 2-3 times a week if you can. Meditation done for you should be done while surrounded by calming water elements. Again, music, YouTube, whatever, fountain in your sacred space. Leo uses heart-centered energy to connect to their intuition. Leo has a really strong pride in seeing it all come about, I guess, seeing the results of your efforts. Leos, it is often in like the middle of a creative process or a thought or a plan, that your intuitive instincts get clearer and stronger. I have a Leo moon, and I feel like once I get started, it just starts coming in. It's almost feels like a flood. Um, It is crucial, though, for Leo not to lose confidence or patience when an idea takes time to come, in order to gain sort of that greater strength and insight. Leos are really, really impatient, or can be impatient. So make sure that you are, allowing yourself to open and give yourself time, small baby steps at the beginning, for those sort of intuitive instincts and the hits and the visuals and all of those psychic abilities to start coming to you. Leos are also one of the most creative and outspoken members of the zodiac. I do not feel attacked, and I can confirm, which makes us excellent channels. The ability to relay information from the other side, excellent channels, excellent mediums. So when you call in your spirit guides for help with your latest direction or guidance or whatever, you might feel like you're in a zone while you're going about your work. Channeling, there are so many different types of channels. There's trance channeling. There is, of course, now none of them are going to come to me, but there's a bunch of different types of channels. You know how when you're driving down the road and you have no idea how you got from one point to the next, you're just sort of in a zone. That's kind of what channeling feels like. You may feel as though you're in a zone while you're going about your intuitive practice, or your writing, or whatever you're doing. All right, Leos. So to connect with your channeling abilities, the first thing you have to do is listen to what your a heart and soul wants, and then allow those messages to come to you. Remember, you love that. You love seeing those results, but you're going to have to be a little bit patient. The sun rules Leo. And so I recommend meditating at the beach during sunrise or sunset. How awesome is that? And invite your guides to help you. Ask for help with creative projects, messages, guidance, all that stuff. So, Leo, I can see you sitting on the beach, which is my favorite place to be during a sunrise or a sunset. Virgos, you can have a hard time locking down your intuition because of your overthinking and perfectionist tendencies. Now, listen, I say that with love. Virgo, another fellow earth sign, I get it. Cap understands and gets you. But the thing is that Virgos, you need your messages to make absolute sense. And if they don't, you'll doubt yourself with a million other scenarios about why you're getting this information, right? Virgos totally get caught up in the minutia of the mind. This thoroughness also, right? Let's look at it from a different perspective. This thoroughness can also make Virgo a fantastic medical empath. And this really super cool ability allows you to feel the symptoms or pains or inconsistent energy levels in others. And when you add that ability to with a holistic modality, maybe some certified training, this healing ability is an incredible way to be in service to others. Nurse, massage therapist, Reiki practitioner, acupuncturist, reflexologist, all of those wonderful modalities can help you connect more deeply to your medical empathy and deepen that self-trust. It also helps you to calm that mind, that Virgo mind, from overthinking and second guessing by grounding into your body. when we as healers, well, I'll just use myself as a Reiki practitioner. When I give Reiki, the first thing I do is sort of ground into that body. So I recommend, Virgo, you do the same 4-3-6 deep breathing techniques that I mentioned before. And then also a little essential oil aromatherapy. Have some essential oils in a diffuser, or put them, directly on your skin where you can smell them. You may also incorporate CBD and plant medicines into your connection practices. Virgo, disclaimer, I'm not saying get blown the fuck out before you consult with a client. I do not condone that. I'm simply saying the use of plant meds can help calm and center that overthinking Virgo mind. Those are my suggestions to help a Virgo connect more deeply to their intuitive knowing. Libras are excellent listeners and conversationalists. And I have a Libra rising. We often create these sort of psychic bonds with the people that we care about, using one of our most natural abilities, telepathy. Telepathy is one of my advanced abilities, and it's really weird, and I can't control it, and I don't really know how to use it. One of these days, I'm going to actually find a mentor and take a class and figure out how to actually put it to good use. But it's a weird ability. All of a sudden, I will just think of someone. I'll think of weird geographic locations. And then as soon as I think of someone, they'll either call or they will show up. It's the craziest thing. It literally is like being connected to somebody else's mind. You think of them and boom, there they are. There's other really weird telepathy sort of outcomes that, again, it's the craziest. It's the craziest ability, and I have no idea how to use it. So I just sort of, I'm at its mercy or its whim. All right. But this is how you might notice that you have telepathy, Libra. You may notice this ability is active if you have sort of an inner knowing about what other people are thinking or feeling, right? My whole life I've known, look, I can't read your mind, and I'm not always on. So if we're friends and we're hanging out or whatever, I don't know what's going on. I'm not even paying attention to what's going on with you. But if I'm in a reading or I'm in a conversation with somebody, I can typically pick up what they're actually thinking or feeling. It's weird. I don't know how to describe it. Thoughts, other people's thoughts might come to you out of the blue. I swear to God, it happens. And you may suddenly be aware of certain geographic areas. I'd mentioned that. So one time I was giving Reiki, and I heard the other person's response to some information that I told them. And I said that out loud. I said, I just heard, this, whatever. And they said, oh my God, that was me. I just said that. So that's another example of what telepathy is. It's weird to explain and hard to nail down when it's activated, but you just come to learn over time. And while this ability can add beauty to your connections, it really can, because when people genuinely feel a certain way for me, I can feel that from them. You'll also want to find a technique to give your mind some peace and quiet. So that's why I'm early on learned how to manage my etheric field, my aura, because telepathy, you do need to sort of throw up those walls, so to speak, without throwing up walls. So while Libra's instincts are on point, we can talk ourselves out of our intuition by weighing too many options, right? Libra is the scales of justice, right? They want to consider all the options, but that then just gives an opportunity to talk yourself out of it. Indecision, people pleasing, second guessing, all of those things in order to avoid conflict is another thing that can cause a Libra to doubt our knowing. All right. So to connect at deeper levels, or to start connecting to your telepathy, first I recommend that you consult with others, trusted intuitives, friends, or mentors for validation of your messages. That's going to help you deepen your self-trust, right? To calm the mind and narrow your focus, you might try solfeggio frequencies that you can download from YouTube. They can help bring balance during meditation, which can help us Libra sort of zero in on their higher knowing and truth. So it's all about zeroing in, nailing it down for Libra. If you are an intuitive out there who is also telepathic, I would love to hear from you. I would love to just sort of talk about it and find out how you experience it, that sort of thing. So send me a message, send me an email on any of the socials. I would love to connect. Okay, next, Scorpios. Highly intuitive and psychic, Scorpios feel everything at super intense levels. And this can feel a little bit scary or unsettling. So Scorpios tend to repress or let their emotions build until they sort of explode. This causes Scorpios to close themselves off to their intuition, deny their abilities, that sort of thing. But here's the thing, Scorpios are natural mediums because they have this inherent ability to connect with the other side and communicate with those souls that have crossed over. So the best way to hone these skills is through meditation, being open to your abilities and attempting to communicate next time you sense a presence around you. To deepen your intuitive self-trust, learning to open up your heart chakra, acting on your intuition, and sharing those intuitive messages. You might want to incorporate flowing or running water into your meditation practice. Burn some Palo Santo, play a singing bowl or some solfeggio frequencies that can help you open your heart center and those intuitive channels. Sagittarius, you might not even be aware that your clairvoyance is at work. You have the most vivid visualizations. You have prophetic dreams. You see auras, orbs, energies, all of that. You also have a huge desire to do it all, see it all, know it all, get answers to it all, and then share that all with everything. So what I recommend for Sagittarius to connect to your clairvoyance at deeper levels is simply to slow down and broaden your perspective by closing your eyes and visualizing the room you're in with as much detail as possible. And then when you're ready, open them up, write it all down, and then compare. Sagittarius, I just have this feeling that you sense you're going to see so much more than you think you would because you see things in such a colorful, vivid way. Capricorn, my earth sign, or I'm sorry, my sun sign. Capricorn intuition is spot on. But we are chronic doubters and second guessers. I need proof and logic in order to trust my intuition, and a Capricorn's intuitive abilities strengthen and deepen over time with age as that self-trust grows. Caps are excellent at picking up on detail and then noticing little clairvoyant patterns. So they're also clairvoyant. To tap into this psychic ability, take note of any recurring numbers, signs, and symbols that might find their way into your life. Pay attention to the lyrics of a song you hear several times in one day and how that relates to your life. Notice those little details. Synchronicities, they might feel like a coincidence at first, but once you begin to notice them consistently, you can start to decode their meaning, and then you'll see them more often. So, CAPS, to connect to your intuition at the deepest levels, I recommend that you spend time in nature, that you connect to the energy of Gaia by earthing, walking on grass dirt with bare feet, and then meditating while you hold crystals. Aquarius intuition comes in the form of inspiration, and they get these sudden flashes of lightning-like insight. Their mind doesn't really work in a linear fashion. Aquarius thinks fast, and they might not often realize that they're actually following an intuitive hit. Due to their nature, they never really question their knowing, and they have very little trouble trusting their abilities. It's easy for them to trust themselves. They have a strong claircognizance ability, which can be unpredictable, right? Clear knowing, it's that flash of lightning. Aquarius can also get psychic info by seeing visions of the future or receiving information in these quick bursts. Very, very psychic. Aquarius, these can often feel like an aha moment, or that sudden knowledge has sort of dropped in. All right, now the problem with taking in information so quickly is that it often leaves you just as fast. So the best way to work with this ability is to keep a pen and notebook around, or keep a note open on your device, and take notes when inspiration and messages strike. Just document it, write it down. Aquarius, you guys don't really need practices to connect to your intuition or deepen your self-trust. You thrive on unusual experiences, unknown paths, and really living outside of the box. So I honor you. You got it. You just have to nail it down, and very, very, very psychic and on point. Pisces, your intuitive abilities make you a master of the dream state or the dream world. Ruled by Neptune, which is the dreamiest planet in the solar, it's no surprise that you are prone to vivid and prophetic dreams, and then, of course, dream interpretation. Your ability also pairs nicely with that of astral projection. So you are a dream walker or a dream traveler. Pisces need a lot of alone time for their practices like meditation, their creative pursuits, and even daydreaming. Being in your own space and energy to get clarity is extremely helpful to you, Pisces, and you can enhance that connection by being, of course, in nature around water. To help strengthen your skills, some of the practices that you can incorporate include setting dream intentions before bed, asking your guides to send you messages while you're asleep, and then be sure to keep a dream journal next to your bed to record your dreams, your travels, all of those things when you wake up. It's also helpful for you to develop a consistent meditation practice to sort of strengthen that higher self connection. All right, so I want to close that all out by saying that most people have spiritual abilities, but identifying, developing, and learning to trust those abilities takes time and consistent practice. So I encourage you to put the time in, and you will begin to see the results. Okay. Also, again, use tarot and oracle cards for validation. Validation helps you develop that self-trust, which is legit the most important thing when it comes to receiving and interpreting messages from spirit. Okay, dudes, listen, this is the closing vibe. And, this section is reserved for shit that we want to talk about, right? Current events, that sort of thing. Sometimes we'll talk about it in the beginning of the pod, but for this closing vibe, I cannot put this bonus episode out without mentioning the fucking Supreme Court. Okay, all I'm going to say is that the feminine rage is palpable and collective right now. I waited until today to post about it in the Esoterix community because I wanted to approach it from a different perspective. As a childless woman, well past her birthing age, thank God, nothing was taken from me directly. Okay, but what is next? Okay, what is next? What other rights are going to be taken from us? And then there's a lot on the socials about, using that rage. But then there are also a lot of messages that say, don't rage, center, use that rage to get focused. Whatever you're feeling, allow yourself to feel it, but use it as fuel. Because this shit can't continue to happen. And now earlier today, I heard that they just allowed prayer teachers to pray in school, which takes away that whole separation of church and school. I mean, what the fuck are they doing? Okay. All right. So check out my post in the Esoterix community. I titled it Rage Against the Machine. And what I talk about is the spiritual significance of Roe versus Wade being overturned as it relates to spiritual awakening, as it relates to the collective consciousness, and ultimately the ascension process of the human race. I am one of those light workers who truly believes that eventually light wins out over dark. I truly do. Okay. But fuck all if the last 6 years haven't tested every last bit of faith I have. Seriously. Anyway, this Roe v. Wade judgment, or I forget what it's called, but it is an important part of the Earth's ascension and awakening. Okay. But it's also important to remember that not everyone who is ascending is awakening. And that is the challenge we need to understand, especially if you consider yourself to be a light worker. So check it out. If you aren't on the FB, send us a message on Insta and I will copy and paste it for you, as long as it's actually a controllable number, or I'll figure something else out. All right, guys. You can find us on all the socials under Esoterix Podcast, and be sure to join that Facebook community I just spoke about to hear firsthand about all sorts of things, services, events, courses, all that good stuff, as well as getting your intuitive development tips, card pulls, free meditations, and a lot more. I know I keep saying, oh yeah, we're going to implement those. But I promise we will. All of that should start being a regular thing, hopefully mid-July to August. Thank you so much for bringing us into your ears. Stay mystical, magical, and ready to do it all over again when the next episode drops. I am so excited for my friend to be back. This was just not as much fun without her. It was, just me talking, and I prefer all of the giggling that we do together. So catch you guys later.